So for today's video, we will tackle about literature. So what is literature? Literature can be at times very hard to define, and this is mainly because nobody has truly found a universally satisfactory answer to the question what is literature. There are at times, however, general characteristics of literature which could be found in the most books, such as it is generally written. Number 2, it is considered to be superior and of lasting artistic merit. It may be based on reality or on imagination. Its words are artfully arranged to stimulate feelings and impart understanding. It is a source of enjoyment, reflection, and knowledge. So, literature has two classifications, the prose and the poetry. Let's focus on prose. Prose is from Latin word prosa oratio, which means direct or straightforward speech. Prose differs from poetry in that it does not use rhymes, meters, or line breaks. However, literary prose follows conventions too, like grammar, structure, organizations, and the like. Literary prose are divided into two, the non-fiction and the fiction. Non-fiction is more formative and factual prose writing. It does not invent characters, events, or places. Under prose are the autobiography, diary, epistle, and the essay. The first is autobiography. Autobiography comes from three Greek words, which are autos, which means self, bios, which means life, and graphin, which means write. Autobiography is an account of a person's life written by that person. In other words, it is literally writing about oneself. St. Augustine's Confessions, written in about 400 AD, is one of the first autobiographies that tells of his consequent conversion to Christianity. Second is biography. Biography is an account of a person's life written by another individual. Biographers often write about historical or influential person and may get information about the lives of these people from diaries, letters, and history books. So the third is diary. Diary comes from the Latin word dies, which means day. It is a book in which one keeps a daily record of experience and events. In here, a person's thoughts, feelings, and fears are written, and thus it is generally meant to be read by one except its writer. However, there are diaries which were published, and one such famous diaries is by German Jewish girl Anne Frank. Frank's diary of a young girl records the experience of her family living for 2 years in hiding from the Nazis in Amsterdam. So the fourth is epistle. This is the literary prose that I'm not familiar with. But epistle is a literary work in the form of a letter or a series of letters. The fifth is essay. It is a short piece of writing on a particular subject. It may attempt to explain, define, and discuss the specific subject in a few paragraphs or more. So the other types of a literary prose is the fiction. It is fictional writing that describes imaginary events and people, and it is therefore made up or invented. Under this category are the fable, the fairy tale, frame tale, legend, novel, parable, saga, and the short story. Under the fiction, first is fables. Fables are short stories in which main characters are animals that talk like humans and retain their animal characteristics. In general, fables are written or told to teach lessons or convey a moral. The second is fairy tale. Fairy tale is a simple folk narrative and oral in origin. A fairy tale may be described as being magical, idealized, or extremely happy. These stories involve supernatural or magical elements such as fairies, wizards, witches, and other enchanted beings. The third is frame tale. A frame tale contains other tales within it. It may be described as a story within a story. One example of this is the Arabian Nights that include the tale of Aladdin and Sinbad the Sailor. The fourth is legend. Legends are generally stories of origins. In particular, the most common of which are creation stories and the origins of people, places, animals, and the like. The fifth is novel. Novel is a narrative prose of book length, difficult to define in terms of content since it can use fantasy, comedy, tragedy, romance, and suspense. The sixth is parable. It is a simple story used to illustrate a moral or spiritual lessons. Many examples of this may be found in the Bible's New Testament. 7 is the saga. Saga was a medieval narrative prose in Old Norse. Today, the term saga refers not only to a long story of heroic achievement, but also to any fictional story involving several generations of a family. One of example is Twilight Saga. Last is short story. This is similar to the novel in that it has a fully developed theme. However, significantly shorter and less elaborate than the novel since it tends to focus on single events or episode. So that's all for today. Next time, I will tackle about the poetry which is classified as literature. Thank you for watching. Click to subscribe. Thank you.